HTP is an organic porous material that will encapsulate any petroleum liquid with a natural capillary action immediately on contact. The tub on the right is filled with 1 pound of HTP, and the tub on the left with 1 pound of a clay absorbent. We then pour 1 quart of 30-weight motor oil in each tub. You'll get the same results with diesel fuel, gasoline, gear oil, hydraulic oil, waste oil, brake fluids, cutting oils, transmission fluid, antifreeze, and basically any oil-based liquid. We then begin to mix the HTP with the oil, and as you will clearly see, the oil is immediately transformed into a fluffy dry material and leaves a clean dry surface. Now that's performance. On the clay absorbent side, the results are obvious. Most of the oil is still present. In fact, the amount of the clay absorbent used to absorb 1 quart of oil is as much as 10 pounds, and still left an oily, messy residue. In this test, a flour sifter is used, partially filling it with HTP. Transmission fluid is then poured into the HTP. To show the non-leaching ability of HTP, water is then poured into the HTP. This also shows the effectiveness of HTP even in rainy conditions for field spills. A similar test was conducted by an independent laboratory for leachability, and the results showed no detection of oil leaching once absorbed into the HTP. The wastewater is then captured into a styrofoam cup. The pure white color of the styrofoam would easily show any trace of the transmission fluid. As you can see, the water in the glass is crystal clear, and there are no visible traces of transmission fluid left in the glass. When the HTP is released from the sifter, it still remains dry, but the transmission fluid is 100% encapsulated. When the same test was attempted with the clay absorbent, not only did the water absorb the clay, but the transmission fluid leaked out, which indicated ineffective results. The wastewater that is collected into the glass has visible presence of transmission fluid. This would not help in field spills on wet or in rainy conditions. You can use as much as a 50-pound bag of clay just to absorb 1 quart of oil if the spill was on a wet surface or in rainy conditions. We pour motor oil on water and sprinkle HTP on top of the oil. As you can see, HTP immediately encapsulates the oil out of the water with no oil residue remaining. Here we're going to demonstrate the superior performance of HTP oil containment and absorbent socks versus polypropylene oil containment socks. They're both 4 feet by 3 inches, and seemingly they both look alike. But the big difference is what's inside the sock. Here we're demonstrating a diesel fuel spill, using HTP to seal the gap on each sock to prevent any leakage. We first pour diesel fuel into the inside area of the HTP containment sock. We use diesel fuel to illustrate just how effective HTP containment socks would be, even on a lightly viscous petroleum spill. As you can clearly see, 100% containment is visible with no leaking occurring, leaving a cleaner and safer environment and thus reducing cleanup cost. Then we pour diesel fuel inside the polypropylene sock area. As you will clearly see, the diesel will start to leak out around the entire sock area, thus creating a work hazard and unsafe conditions, and increasing cleanup cost in material and labor. The results clearly show, just after 1 minute, the superior performance of the HTP oil containment and absorbent sock, even after pouring 3 quarts of diesel fuel. 100% containment is clearly visible, versus only a half quart absorption of the polypropylene sock, with almost no containment. Which oil containment sock would you use for your operations? HTP is a valuable product to have on hand for field spills on any type of surface and in any adverse weather conditions. HTP can save you a lot of money on cleanup cost in time and material, especially if the spill occurs near storm drains on grass, on soil in swamps, and on highways and roadways in and around sensitive environments. Remember, to use HTP for all your spill needs, both large or small, inside or outside.